From the dawn of time, humanity has sought wisdom, the kind of wisdom that gives purpose to life and peace to the soul. Empires have risen, philosophies have flourished, and knowledge has multiplied, yet true wisdom remains rare. Why? Because wisdom does not begin with intellect, wealth, or worldly achievement. It begins with the fear of God. The fear of the Lord is the beginning of wisdom, says the Scripture. Not fear as in terror or despair, but a deep, reverent awareness of God's majesty, power, and justice. It is the kind of fear that humbles the human heart, teaching it to recognize its limits before the infinite Creator. This fear is not a punishment. It is protection. It keeps the soul from arrogance, restrains the ego from sin, and guides the believer to live a life of purity, balance, and purpose. To fear God is to live with the consciousness that He sees, hears, and knows all. It is the awareness that every word spoken, every thought conceived, and every action performed is known to Him, and that nothing escapes His judgment. Such awareness does not make life dark. Rather, it fills it with light. When one truly fears God, one becomes cautious not to wrong others, not to speak falsehood, not to cheat, and not to harm. The fear of God becomes the moral compass that leads to wisdom, justice, and peace. In our modern world, many boast of knowledge but lack understanding. They may master technology, medicine, or science, but still fail to master themselves. They know how to build machines, yet they cannot build character. They know how to reach the stars, yet they lose their way in darkness. For wisdom is not the gathering of information. It is the right use of knowledge, guided by reverence for the Almighty. Without the fear of God, knowledge becomes arrogance, and power becomes corruption. The prophets and saints of every faith were the wisest of all, not because they possessed worldly degrees, but because their hearts trembled before their Lord. Their wisdom came from obedience, their strength from humility, and their honor from submission to divine will. They lived by the truth that fearing God means loving goodness, seeking justice, and walking humbly in the path of righteousness. When a person fears God, they begin to see the world differently. Pride fades, patience grows, and conscience awakens. This fear gives birth to self-control, the ability to resist temptation, to forgive, to act with compassion, and to speak truth even when silence is easier. It is this inner wisdom that turns ordinary people into leaders of moral strength and peace. The fear of God does not enslave the soul. It sets it free from the slavery of sin. Look at the societies that have lost the fear of God. They are rich in wealth but poor in values, loud in speech but silent in conscience. Where there is no fear of God, lies replace truth, greed replaces mercy, and arrogance replaces humility. Yet in the heart of one God-fearing person, wisdom shines like a beacon, because fear of God brings humility, and humility brings learning. To fear God is also to love Him deeply, to honor His commandments not out of force but out of devotion. It means caring for others because you know He commands mercy, speaking the truth because you know He loves honesty, and avoiding sin because you know He despises injustice. This divine fear purifies intention, deepens faith, and brings serenity to the restless heart. Wisdom begins when man realizes that his power, wealth, and knowledge are nothing before the greatness of God. The wise are those who kneel before the Almighty, not in weakness, but in recognition that true strength lies in surrender. The fear of God transforms pride into humility, ignorance into understanding, and chaos into peace. So, let every heart return to reverence. Let every tongue speak truth with consciousness of the divine. Let every step be taken knowing that the Creator watches with mercy, yet judges with justice. For in this fear, noble, reverent, and loving, lies the beginning of all wisdom, the root of all goodness, and the secret of eternal peace. Please subscribe and press the bell icon to receive notifications of future videos when uploaded.